found the Hui o Haula mission to help others. What inspired you to establish such an organization?
Oh, I've lived here for 30 years, and when I retired, I decided I would spend my time working with the community. And I joined the Community Association, and after a while, we realized we needed money to bring in services. And so in order to do that, we started the Hui o Ha'ula, which is a 501c3 nonprofit. That's what you really have to have if you're going to write grants and bring money in from other funders.
Do you have your personal life model?
My personal life model might be that my family always comes first, my love for my family, and then my community, and of course friends, of course. But they're all very precious to me, and I have to be balanced in my life so I don't forget that I need to take care of my family and my friends as well as my community.
Okay. What is your passion?
My passion is really working with kids because I believe that kids deserve as much support as they can get to grow into productive, happy human beings. And so I started out as a teacher, and I was a teacher with children of special needs who, when I started teaching, they had been left out of regular schools for a long time. And I was able to work with public schools to get those kids into classrooms, special needs classrooms, but also into regular classrooms so that they could have the chance to learn and excel just like all kids. And they can.
Looking back at your past, do you have any specific moments, incidents, or motivations to bring you here who helps the community and people? Yes.
Oh yes, I was working at San Francisco State University, and I was in a technical assistance project working with teachers, educators across the country. And then I had the opportunity to start a project in the Pacific Ocean in Micronesia and Polynesia. And I did that for several years. And that's what really convinced me that my work was most important in the Pacific. And I left San Francisco. I talked to my colleagues at University of Hawaii and said I would be moving here soon, and they offered me a position there. So I worked with University of Hawaii for 17 years. I worked in the Pacific 25 years, traveling 75% of my time to very far away places like Palau, Guam, the Northern Mariana Islands, American Samoa, the Marshall Islands, the Federated States of Micronesia. So actually when I moved to Hawaii, I settled in Ha'ula because it looked like more like Micronesia. And I loved that. It was very country, and a lot of people who were born and raised here, they were indigenous Hawaiians. And I felt most comfortable with that setting.
Then tell me about your childhood. What was the best part and why? Or the worst part as well?
Well, my childhood was unbelievably great. I was raised with a big family. My father and his two brothers, we all lived together on the same property. And it was a big farm property. We had lots of animals. We rode horses. We were like cowboys. We'd jump on a horse and go riding across the place, you know, going many miles away. In those days, you could do that. and your parents didn't even know where you were. You know, you were out riding horses. So we had a very free, fun way of living, and very loving families. All my aunts and uncles that lived there. There were 12 children altogether, and so I had lots of people to play with. So we grew up in hard-working families, but we had a lot of fun together. And it was, I had 45 first cousins, all in all. And so that's a lot of family. And we often had them visiting us and are going to visit them. So family is very important to me.
Did you manage to memorize all of their names?
Oh, I knew all their names, yes, absolutely. Because we didn't see one another just once a year. You know, we got together a lot.
What kind of people have power in society? It is your opinion.
Well, I think people who are in positions of power sometimes lose the values they hold most dearly. And that's pretty sad to think about that. Because they are swayed by money or politics. You know, they make a lot of promises when they campaign and rarely live up to those promises. So it takes a very strong person to be in a position in power and stay true to yourself and your values, I believe.
What are your biases? How do you tackle them?
I don't know that I have a lot of biases. I pride myself in being pretty open-minded. I work hard. I try not to work in by myself. I like to involve other people in the work that I do all the time. But I work pretty intensely. And so, and I love working. I learn a lot by just continuing to work. I'm now 74, and I love every minute of my day.
For 11th and 12th grade in APS, including your lovely grandson, Tyler, we just finished reading To Kill a Mockingbird. In the novel, the author focuses on the social injustices, and while helping others, have you noticed, experienced, or felt any social injustices?
There are many social injustices. They're everywhere. You know, we experience social injustice here. Lack of services, equity in services, equity in terms of voice in government, making decisions for ourselves. We're a small, rural, remote community, and we are faced with many challenges that go unheard in terms of our political systems and so forth. I believe many people are discriminated against here, but especially people who don't feel comfortable speaking up and fighting for their rights. I'm a fighter, I'm Irish, and when I see something that's wrong, I try to make it right. But a lot of people have not been raised that way, are not comfortable speaking out or fighting for an idea. But in my lifetime, I've seen much social injustice from the time of discrimination and slavery, discrimination in voting, in working, in salaries. Women suffer from that today, even in America. women get lower salaries than men for doing the same job. So there is a lot of discrimination. It's all around us every day.
Before we finish this awesome, amazing interview, what advice would you give to the students at APIS and future generations?
Stay true to yourself and your values. You probably got your values mainly from your family. And stay close to your family. And when you are challenged by the world around you and you feel pressured to make changes that you're not comfortable with in your work or your family or your play, reach back to what you know to be true and honest and hold tight to that.